All right, you ready, Eric?
Ready.
Okay. Well, this is definitely something new.
Very new.
All right, guys, here we are.
Hi.
It's Friday, September
It's
25th, and this is
it's
the
Friday.
JCA Sports Podcast with the Chicagoland Sports Radio Update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on a career in broadcasting, visit beonair.com. Both Chicago baseball teams are in action here tonight as the Chicago White Sox host the Chicago Cubs in a three-game series on the South Side. Yu Darvish battles Dylan Cease as both teams are looking to win their division. We had three Cubs homers so far as Kyle Schwarber, Wilson Contreras, and Javier Baez took the ball deep to put the Cubs up against the Southsiders. In the NBA bubble, the Miami Heat take on the Boston Celtics tonight. The Heat are up 3-1 thanks to the incredible young talent led by Jimmy Butler and up-and-comer Tyler Hero. The Boston Celtics look to avoid elimination and bring the series to a Game 6. The Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Denver Nuggets last night 114 to 108, led by Anthony Davis' 34 points alongside LeBron James. He had 26, and the Lakers are one win away from the NBA Finals. They will play tomorrow, September 26th on PNC. Let's not forget, on the other hand, 2-0 Chicago Bears head to Atlanta to take on the 0-2 Atlanta Falcons. This will be Mitchell Trubisky's third start after winning the QB competition from Nick Foles. You can catch that game at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time only on Fox. This update was brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If you want a career in broadcasting, visit their website at beonair.com. This is the John Quinavi Sports Podcast on Chicagoland Sports Radio, where it's not just sports, it's a way of
It's a
life.
way of life. Yes, it really is. Hey guys, welcome to the JCA Sports Podcast. We're doing something new. If you guys are not familiar with Chicagoland Sports Radio or ChicagoSportsLandRadio.com, simple. Follow Illinois Media School, where Jose and I both went to get our broadcasting career, and that's why we have the knowledge to do this wonderful podcast. John joins along with us too as well. He will join us shortly. But yes, we got a new thing where now you could catch us on two platforms, not only just on Facebook, on the JCA Sports Podcast on Facebook, but also now on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where we're going to have a little bit edited version on there. Jose, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Eric? Everything's good over here, man. The Chicago Cubs are up, beating the Chicago White Sox. So you know I'm happy right now. I'm very happy.
I'm just I'm gonna stay mute. I'm gonna stay mute. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about outside of the crosstown classic series here, or crosstown series between the Cubs and the Sox. The last three games of the season, our first one's played today. So far, it's pure dominance from the Chicago Cubs. Tomorrow will be game two. Last week I said something about, if the teams both clinch the playoff spots or, the divisions of this game, if this series will mean anything. Well, they clinched the playoff spot, but no division is clinched yet. So technically now this series does mean a little something for both teams, as both teams are trying to clinch both division titles at the same time since 2008. Also, as Jose said in the update, we also have Bears talk. Bears Falcons Sunday at 12 o'clock. 1 Eastern if you're out in Atlanta, down in the Georgia Dome, as the Chicago Bears, 2-0 Chicago Bears, play against what should have been a 1-1 Atlanta Falcons team, but last week they blew that. What a common Atlanta Falcons team blowing a lead heading into the fourth quarter, heading into the second half, and lost big in the comeback from the Dallas Cowboys. They are now they are 0-2 against our beloved. And guys, let's start off with the most exciting news that happened over the week. That is not football. The Chicago Bulls finally, finally, can't stress that word enough, got a head coach, and it's a first time in a very long time that the Bulls got not just a head coach, but Jose, a head coach with experience in Billy Donovan, who led the Oklahoma City Thunder to the playoff run this year, where nobody thought they were going to give him a chance. He was also well known for the Florida Gators, winning back-to-back national titles. I think it was in 2006, 2007, or 2007, 2008. I really don't remember that well. Maybe even a few going back, maybe 05, 06. Somewhere around that line, but he went back-to-back with Joakim Noah, who we all know very well up here in Chicago, and Al Horford too as well. Jose, are you excited, super excited, or super duperly excited about uh, the hiring of Billy Donovan to the Chicago
No
Bulls?
doubt about it, Eric. I'm excited. Billy Donovan brings a lot of credibility to the Chicago Bulls team. I mean, that's what we needed. We needed a head coach to be able to help develop this young talent that we have. We have some pieces that, if we're not going to keep, at least we have good pieces that could trade and bring in other young talent or more picks that could help this
Oh yeah.
Bulls organization in the future. But I really think that Billy Donovan was a great pick, a great choice. Hats off to Arturas Carcinovas. He did a great job of getting himself a general manager, getting himself a head coach, and I'm excited about the Chicago Bulls in their future. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. AK is doing something different that none of the other Bulls, or should I say, that Carr and Pax, have done in getting themselves a head coach with some type of credibility. Tim Floyd after Phil Jackson. I guess you could say Vinny Del Negro had some, I guess, a little experience, but not really. He was still pretty young too as well. Oh, he did pretty good. I think his both seasons as the Bulls head coach, if I'm not mistaken, he was 500, and one of them going into the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Also on top of that, Tom Thibodeau, which was their most successful head coach in the Bulls' modern history up in the last what 10, 12, 20 years after the Jordan era. So you got that going on with Tom Thibodeau. Then I guess we can talk about Freddie Hoiberg and also Jim Boylan, which has been Freddie's more disastrous on the aspect of, there was more high expectations of a high flying offense when you had players like, Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, Rajon Rondo, players like that didn't fit the mantra of the style of playing that Freddie Hoiberg wanted to play. Fired him. They got Jim Boylan, and man, oh man, when I tell you that it's been the what's the word I'm trying to look for? What's the word, or what's the name? Basketball hell. That's what I was looking for. The Bulls have been in basketball hell for the past 6 to 7 years, even more, even less. Jose, is this the glimmer of hope that the Bulls will finally get out this basketball hell that we've been in literally in the past, I guess, decade or so, or not even decade, like 5, 6 years?
You know what? Absolutely. I feel. I mean, there's no way to go but up. Let's be honest, right? They've been
Right.
like you say in this hell for a very very long time, and a lot of that had to do with John Pax and Gar Forman and the mediocrity that they brought in year after year after year. So
Right.
again, the only thing we can do right now is trust in Arturas's vision. He's so far he brought in some pieces to get the Bulls back in shape, to back where we need them to
Mm-hmm.
be, where they need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we just got to. It's a wait and see process, man. It's not
Oh
going to
yeah,
take.
most definitely,
Going to take
most
like
definitely.
I say at least 3 or 4 years before we see them back into title contention.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I think if they make that one big move, remember this year is more valuable because they finally don't have the number seventh pick, right? They got number four. Obviously, in the draft, where it's kind of a little bit of an unknown, simply because of you don't know what kind of players you're gonna get. Obviously, this is a top. There's only three high draft players in this draft, and that's always every draft. There's always every draft that has one or two players, but then everybody just comes out in the later rounds, right? And I think this is the perfect opportunity for the Bulls to use this fourth round pick as a trade package and trade either Laurie Markkinen, trade either Wendell Carter Jr., trade even find something where you could trade even Zach LaVine, something of higher profile, and get players like Bradley Beal, who has 2 years left on his deal, right? Do something in that aspect. I think AD, if I'm not mistaken, is on a 1 year contract. I think he's a free agent next year, if I'm not mistaken, if not in 2 years. Something along those lines, but AD trying to lure him to bring that back home and give him that mantra, just give him something, a different thing for the Bulls that they need to freshen up. Yes, they are the youngest team in the NBA, or one of the five youngest teams in the NBA in this upcoming season. But with that even being said, they're very, to be honest, very unprepared. There's been a lot of heat. I think Charles Barkley said something that it's the worst job that Billy Donovan could be picked up. But Billy Donovan has been known to uh, mold players into where they are today, and also bring them out of nowhere. So,
See,
it's
I
a
see
great
it.
hire.
Hmm.
Right. It's a great hire from the Chicago Bulls. No, it's a fantastic hire for the Chicago Bulls. Something that they've never done, and finally get a head coach with experience.
You know what? I
And
even
it
see it as a good thing though. I see it as I get where Charles Barkley went when he said it's the
right,
worst job, but I see it as a good thing for Billy Donovan because again, this is job is again a wait and see job. This is a job where it's going to
right,
take years and years, and that kind of guarantees him a job for multiple years
right.
because again, this is not going to happen overnight.
No, it really is. It's not going to happen overnight. And even on top with all that, it could have been the worst job in the whole entire world, but it's not as bad because Gar and Pax don't run this team. Hey guys, the JCA Sports Podcast not only is now on Facebook Live, but also you can hear it on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. Also, our segment is also brought to you by our own sponsor, Sky's Party Rental, guys. You still got a couple more weeks of nice weather outside, and if you want to have a party, call Sky's Party Rental, and they will have you covered. We're going to take a little small commercial break when we come back, and we're talking about Bears and how are we going to see this Bears? Is this a trap game? If it's so-called a trap game, they're the 2-0 Bears against the 0-2 Falcons. What kind of team are we going to see? That and much more, and hopefully John will join us here on the JCA Sports Podcast on Facebook Live. All right.
All right.
I mean, we don't really have to go necessarily a break, Jose. We could
Yeah, yeah,
just,
because
as
it's going to get
uh,
edited.
you're right, it's gonna get edited regardless. So we just need to do the little commercial
So I
break.
think this is a
All
great
right.
opportunity just to let our viewers know, both on Chicagoland Sports Radio and the John Conabi Sports Podcast, the John Conabi Facebook page, the guys who already follow us, but we have new viewers there. We can introduce ourselves a little bit during this commercial break.
We
And
got time for that.
you
Well, I
think so?
mean, true. I mean, we could probably do that for next time. Hey, I don't have my laptop in front of me, so you have to read the comments if you have the laptop. My laptop, I don't even know where it's at, to be honest
I
with you.
got you, brother. I got you.
That way we can, or wherever. Hey, 7-0 Cubs. So
7-0
uh
Cubs.
yeah, so we're gonna get on into that too as well. So we're gonna do the edit version. Yeah, guys. Yeah, the Chicagoland Sports Radio.com. We're on it now. Something new, something different, something amazing for us, and it's a great opportunity for us to not only expand our content, but also
So
get
real
more viewers.
quickly,
And
no, we do have some viewers there who are chiming in the comments. We have James Bradley, Cards winning 7-0, game two, Brewers won game one. We got Matthew Ward Jr. What up, Eric? Home
hey,
run central on 35th and Fields.
what up,
He also
man? What's
mentioned
good?
Billy Donovan wants Joakim Noah to be a vet leader. I would love to add
That
Joakim
would be
Noah to
great.
this
I
show.
would I would love that. Yeah. So we'll get to everybody's comments, and Jose will read the comments. I'm unfortunately I'm unprepared. I don't know where my laptop's at. I don't know where. So I'll look on next one. I'll be more
It's the
prepared.
first
So
time
read
here
your
on
guys'
Chicagoland
comments.
Sports Radio. We'll be better. Don't worry.
We'll be better. Yeah. Our motto is our motto is we get bigger and better every day. So that's our mantra. Wow. So we're gonna get back to it.
We are
Our
broadcasting from
JCA.
home, guys. So if you hear kids in the
Yeah.
background, hey, it's a
Yeah.
pandemic.
Obviously.
We're not in the studio.
Exactly. So yeah, for our new followers, hey, follow us on JCASports.com or JCA Sports on Facebook. We'll add you right back, and we talk about sports almost 24/7, and we'll go from there. Also, Eric's Goal Kick on Tuesdays as well. All right, so we're gonna get it started. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live, also on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com too as well. Yes, something new that we got going on here. We're getting bigger and better every day as we go by. Every show is better, so we go with that. So thank you for our new viewers from ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and our normal viewers on Facebook Live. We were just talking about the Bulls and Billy Donovan. There was a comment on our Facebook Live page saying that Joe Kino should be a presence here for these young Bulls, which I totally 100% agree. Joakim Noah was my favorite Bulls player. Nothing but heart, energy, soul, strength. He was the heartbeat of that team. Joakim Noah with these young bloods, it'll be a great match.
Joakim Noah should
We got
retire from the Chicago Bulls. I would love that.
exactly. I would love that. I mean, he was the first and only player that I bought a shirt that had a name on it. So that says a lot on how he got my respect. Switching gears here, we're talking about, and hey, look what we
Hey,
got. It's
hey.
about time. Jonathan, there's the J to the JCA Sports Podcast, Jonathan Palayo. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna ease right into it. I'm not gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it at a later time. Right now, we're talking about
Late, just
Bears
like the
and the.
White Sox, huh?
All right. So we're talking
Yeah.
about the Bears. We're talking about the Bears and our are not only our predictions, but what are we going to see? What kind of Bears team are we going to see on Sunday at the Georgia Dome? Last week the Falcons they did blow I think it was 101-3 lead to the Dallas Cowboys and ended up losing by like 2 points. Guys, is this a trap game for the Chicago Bears heading down to Atlanta 2-0 against the 0-2 Falcons team? Okay,
Go
no
ahead,
answer.
John.
I mean,
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think we should expect a big game from the offense and the defense. I think realistically, this is probably the hardest defense the Falcons have faced yet. You know, first week Quinn was banged up. Last week he was limited. Gives him another week to be healthy. And I think the offense. Week 1 we came alive late. Week 2 we were alive early. Then kind of died out. I'm expecting the offense to step it up. I expect the whole Bears team to just keep improving each week. With the whole the whole pandemic, messing up normal preseason. So I think, we should expect big things from the Bears this weekend.
I'll tell you what, Eric. I'm a big realist, but I'm also a huge optimist. I want the Bears to go 3-0 this season, but I see this being a trap game for our beloved. I really do. I see the Atlanta Falcons, who are off to a really bad start, 0-2 start. Now, we know their offense is high powered.
Right.
If Julio Jones play this game, they have an actual shot at defeating the Chicago Bears. Only because I don't know if the Bears offense, I don't know if Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears offense can even keep up with Atlanta. So we need our defense to step up. Do I see it happening? Yeah, I can see the defense stepping up, for the Chicago Bears. At the same time, if they don't, Atlanta's gonna win and they're gonna win big. But that's just my opinion.
yeah, I mean, it is a potential trap game for the Bears, obviously because the reports coming out of Atlanta were all their injuries, Julio Jones being one, right? Dante Fowler being the other one. And then plus they got like I think it was 16, 17 players. Maybe I'm over exaggerating on the number, but they had a good list of players on the injury list. And it just that alone just gives me a sign. I'm like, man, we're going into this game probably a little bit more overconfident than there is, and they shouldn't be overconfident because they don't have nothing other than being 2-0 to be confident about. The defense they look like the 2018 defense that look like they're getting gassed in the final minutes of the fourth quarter and the final minutes of the game, right? You're looking at the same old offense that has spurts. That's probably like the only upgrade from 2018 and 2019 that they have spurts of playing good, but then all of a sudden it just disappears. All right, so I mean, like you said, and Jose is right. Julio Jones is a big key because if Julio Jones plays, that opens up the field for everybody, for Hurst, especially for Ridley and everybody else on the offensive side of the ball. But I was about to say Tony Gonzalez. Everything on the
Wrong
offensive
year,
side of
buddy.
the ball. Right, right. Offensive side of the ball for the quarterback. Plus, they got Matty Ice. So obviously, we already know that the advantage on the quarterback is there from the Atlanta Falcons. The wide receiver or the receiving core obviously is going to go a little bit more leaning towards the Atlanta Falcons. But literally, you're playing strength versus strength and defense versus offense and weakness versus weakness and strength and defense versus offense this week coming up. And it's just it's a potential trap game for the Bears. I mean, obviously, will we love to see the Bears go 3-0? Yes, I think we will all love to see our beloved to go 16-0 if we want to. Obviously, and Jose says not only if he's the biggest optimistic and also pessimistic too as well. Realist, whatever you want to call it. It's you got to see it through your own two eyes. And obviously, the Bears are the worst 2-0 team in the NFL, whether you like that comment or not. But it's true because one side of the ball is literally affecting the other side of the ball, and it's making that team overall look pretty bad. Hey, this is the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live. No, we are also brought live on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com too, brought to you by Illinois Media School, guys. We will appreciate that very much, and you'll see us on both platforms every show, every Monday, every Friday for the whole entire football season. We're gonna be doing this on both platforms, guys. My biggest question, obviously, is the biggest question. What Mitchell Trubisky are we gonna see in Sunday?
Eric, hold on, man. Before you go into the next subject, I got to pick at you a little bit, man. You know, we love debating here. You keep comparing our defense to 2018 defense, saying we're getting gassed, but if anything, I disagree, man. That's got to be last year's defense, not 2018 defense. 2018 defense, the ones that led us to 12-4. And yeah, you can say, you know, the defense wasn't on the field as much, but which is true. But if anything, they still held it down compared to last year, where the offense, you know, was weaker than 2018. Then it's really where the defense was mostly on the field more last year than 2018. So I don't think it's fair to call this defense 2018 defense. You should be calling it last year's defense. And also, I hear you guys. Julio Jones is a monster, but even if he plays, he's gonna be banged up. And we got a guy named Kyle Fuller who's a dog lately. Eddie Jackson's been great. I mean, he should have a pick last week that was called back. So, I mean, how much of a threat is an injured Julio Jones?
I mean, Julio Jones at 80% is basically better than majority
But
of
we
the
don't
wide
know if he's
receivers in
going to
the
be
NFL.
80. Isn't it?
But even 60.
Look,
I mean,
Julio Jones
look,
at
Julio
80%
Jones
is gonna do damage. 80%.
exactly. He's one of the top dogs in the
If
NFL
anything,
as a
he's
wide
going to be a
receiver in this position.
distraction this week. It's all.
Whether if it's
But
a
injured Julio
distraction,
Jones, I mean, come on. You guys have him in fantasy. You don't get the touchdown target.
hey man, look, Julio Jones on a team is more dangerous than any other wide receiver in the NFL going toe to toe, healthy or not healthy. No
But you
matter
gotta remember, even
how
though
you
he's injured, he's a veteran. Okay, he knows his ways around.
he knows what to do.
He knows how to pitch. Come
Absolutely,
on.
absolutely. And I'm not discrediting him, but you know, you can't call our defense some bums. I'm pretty sure they can match up with
No,
a
I
banged
mean,
up Julio.
no. The
Because I
defense
mean,
are not.
outside from him, there's no clear number two. There should be
Yeah,
a clear number
Ridley.
two, but he's hit or miss. No, now you're
No.
giving him too much credit,
Oh
bro.
no,
You're
no,
giving
no,
I
no,
don't.
Ridley
no.
too much
I don't think
credit,
it's more
bro.
so Julio Jones, but his competitor at the other side, Mitchell Trubisky, and who he's throwing, and how
Okay,
he's
now
throwing to
we're
his
talking
receivers.
about like, but
You know
now
what
if
I'm
you're
saying?
comparing Matt Ryan to Mr. Trubisky, then of
Look, I'm
course, like
only
Eric
saying.
said, the QB has the advantage.
I'm only saying
What I'm
that the
saying
ball
is
has to be thrown by somebody.
we
You know
got
what
a
I mean?
defense over there, and mind you, the Falcons, you know, the Falcons are good against the run. We can run it down their throats this weekend.
Right. I mean, look, regardless of the
Look,
defense side of the ball
Mitch
from the
doesn't have to have
Falcons,
a shootout with Matt Ryan this
he
weekend,
doesn't. He
and
doesn't.
he
But
shouldn't.
very,
and he
very true.
shouldn't. And he shouldn't. But it has to happen one way or another. This guy has to grow a pair some way, one way or another, against a decent team, one way or another. Obviously the Atlanta Falcons defense is weak. We can see that. We saw it last week,
They're
and we just seen
terrible. I
this in
think
the
they
Super
gave up
Bowl.
like what
Right.
75 points in 2 games or more than
What,
seven.
whatever. It felt like they gave up 100 points last week
Hey,
when they were up by
maybe
100.
all we need to do is just do onside kicks. Work for the Cowboys.
I mean, man, that was the worst onside kick ever. But you know what? Obviously, you're right. We can't compare the 2018 Bears to any other the Bears defense after that because it's going to be damn near impossible. Let's be honest. It's going to be almost nearly impossible for them to even to come halfway to it because of the takeaways because of that. And that's why they were so successful at least a little bit in 2018 because the field was always shorter for the Bears on the offense side of the ball, starting at their own 40, 35, 45, sometimes even on the opponent 40. So yeah, we'll give that credit to it. And you're right, we should compare it to the 2019 Bears. But even on top of that, we still have that's the only 2 years that we have with this whole entire defense together. And we wanted to mixture a little bit of 2018 to the 2020 Bears from last year because even last year they were still a top 5 defense minus the interception. Let's be honest. That many, I think it was like 40, 30 some odd takeaways that the Bears defense had in 2018. Then we know they were not going to replicate that in 2019. We all knew that. We all knew. I even said it that the Bears defense was going to take a step back in 2019. It happens. It's the NFL. Some teams go from worst to first and then from first to worst. It happens year in and year out with football, and it's going to happen to every team. Hey, we'll be right back. The John Konavi here on Facebook Live, also on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We're going to have a quick sports update with Jose Contreras. Jose, take it away.
All right, it's Friday, September 25th, guys. The JCA Sports Podcast with the Chicagoland Sports Radio update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on career in broadcasting, Visit BeyondAir.com. Both teams, both Chicago, both Chicago baseball teams are in action here tonight. The Chicago White Sox are hosting the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are up in the series. In the game. And it seems that they're going to win the series, John. I'm just saying. We had homers from Kyle Schwarber, Wilson Contreras, and Javi Baez as they move on to try to win the game tonight. Let's not
Deep
forget the
breaths.
bubble, the
Deep
NBA
breaths.
bubble. I know, right? The NBA bubble, the Miami Heat take on the Boston Celtics tonight. The Heat are up 3-1 in the series thanks to the incredible young talent led by Jimmy G. Buckets and his partner in crime, Tyler Hero. The Boston Celtics look to avoid elimination and bring the series to Game 6. I don't know, guys.
Can I be your hero, baby?
I think the Miami Heat are going to take it. Let's not forget the Los Angeles Lakers, led by Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They defeated the Denver Nuggets last night, 114 to 108. Anthony Davis, 34 points. Is he the Batman or is he the Robin? Because LeBron James had 26. Either way, the Los Angeles Lakers are one win away from the NBA Finals. And again, our beloved, the Chicago Bears, 2-0, take on the 0-2 Atlanta Falcons. Mitchell Trubisky's third start after winning the QB competition against Nick Foles. I can't say it enough. Mitchell Trubisky, fourth quarter Mitch. Are we going to see him again tomorrow? Sunday, 12 p.m. Central on Fox. This update was brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If you want a career in broadcasting, visit their website at beyondair.com. This is the John Conavi Sports Podcast on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Jose, for the sports update here brought to you by the Illinois Media School, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Hey, the JCA Sports Podcast. We're live on Facebook Live. We are live on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. For our first-time viewers here, normally this little 2-3 minute segment before we go on the break in about 2 minutes. This little segment, we just want to thank you guys. Thank you for Illinois Media School to give us the platform to be on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Our Facebook, our new friends from Illinois Media School, whoever's watching the show, follow us, JCA Sports, on Facebook, JCA Sports Facebook page. Follow us. We'll follow you right back. We have all the sports content we can have and provide for you guys. Also, we have a little jabbing session on who's cuter between Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez, but that's neither here nor there. Hey, Jose, so what we got on Facebook Live? What comments do you have going
Facebook Live. Taquase Burts. Eric, you know her very well. We know
her. Taquase, what's up, girl?
Taquase, she said, I don't speak sports, but hey, she's giving us a shout out, guys. So to say hey to Taquase. Matthew Ward Jr. back on the comments. Bulls have been in basketball hell since Rose's first injury. Facts.
Facts. Super facts. Major facts.
Big facts. Major facts.
And let's not forget one of our loyals one of our PM, Joshua Vasquez. Nope, the Cubs aren't taking the series. He's saying the go White Sox. Let's go, boys. That's what we have so far.
We're giving you the game, but it's just this game.
We will talk. Obviously, we're going to talk more baseball coming up on Monday after hopefully a victory Monday for our beloved. Also, playoffs will start on Monday too as well. We're going to have a lot of recap on the Cubs and Sox series coming up on Monday. Obviously, we're going to have a recap on the Bears, hopefully going 3-0 against the Falcons. We have a little bit of playoff bubble too as well. See what two teams, see if the Heat or the Lakers or the Lakers, should I say, will punch their ticket to the NBA Finals. We're going to have a lot more on Monday, guys. Keep listening to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and the ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Please keep the comments going. We'll be right back. Going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back. And, again, just make sure you send it by segments. That way we could just send it to me and I'll give it to Cortez on Monday. We don't really have to take the long break. Obviously, we just go right to it. We're just saying for the break, ladies and gentlemen. We're saying the break because we're going to send the edit version up on the mother station for ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And since they have commercials for the school and other students as well that have shows, we had to say a quick commercial break. But we're just going to go right into it, doing our same normal routine as we keep on going. Hey, guys, did you come up with any time machine questions this week before we get started?
Time machine questions. John, you got one before I mention mine, or you want to?
No.
All right, so Jose, we'll do it on live the question, and then we'll go from there. Guys, remember time machine. Before we get started, the time machine. Think about it. Join us. Give us the comments. See what you guys think about our questions. 2 weeks ago we did our worst sports moment. Last week was our favorite sports moment. So this week we're gonna do something new on our time machine segment, and we'll take it from there. Ready? And this is the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live. Also, our new partner, I guess you could say partner, in Chicagoland Sports Radio.com. You can follow us on both platforms, Facebook Live on the JCA Sports Facebook page, and also the Chicagoland Sports Radio.com. Hey guys, we're going to do a little quick segment for our new viewers, our new listeners that we normally do every show, or we've been starting doing the last 2 shows. It's called the Time Machine. It's pretty simple. We go back into time for wherever we want to change in sports history. 2 weeks ago, worst sports moment. For our new viewers, let us know what was your worst sports moment. We'll read the comments a little later on. And last week it was our favorite sports moment. Same thing. Comment on them. Remember, worst and favorite for the following 2. So for our new viewers, go ahead and listen. And our new one this week, Jose has it for us. Jose, take it away.
Yes. Okay. So, time machine. If you guys had a time machine today, knowing what you know about sports and your favorite teams and all that, what sports moment or sports or pick or whatever would you, knowing what you know, if you had a time machine to go back, for example, let's say to the day before they drafted Mitchell Trubisky, if you had to change one thing from any of your favorite teams, any sport you have, if you can go back in time and change one thing, give something like Ryan Pace a heads up, for example, right? And let them know if anything, it could be soccer, basketball, football, you name it. If you could change one sports moment in time from your favorite team, what would it be and why?
That's a good one. That is a really good one.
I got mine.
I think
Y'all want me to
I
kick
think
it off?
Go ahead, start it off. Because I got 2.
Now, this one hurts to admit it. I know it hurts a lot of Sox fans. But I would take back the trade for James Shields and giving up Tatis Jr.
I mean, that was a given.
But
I think
that
was a given.
but I'm not saying I'd put him to replace Tim Anderson. They'll give me Timmy. Because look, Eric made a face. We didn't acquire Tim Anderson in that trade.
No, you guys did. You guys drafted him.
Right. So, because Tim Anderson won a batting title, you may not like it, but he's putting up numbers this year. So, can you combine that with Tatis Jr. in the same infield that we have now? I'll take it any day.
So it's something like the 2015, 2016 Cubs with Russell and Baez, pretty much. Russell's your shortstop, Baez your second base, pretty much putting it that way.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, cool. But who would you put at short? That's the other question. Who would you put at short? Tatis or Tim Anderson?
I'm gonna put Tatis because he got more range.
You're a smart man.
How about a better question? How much different would this team look with Tatis Jr. in the lineup?
Oh, way different.
Oh,
hell yeah. No, it would be way different.
Crazy.
If we have Tatis and Timmy, who would not be in the lineup? Someone in the infield would be gone.
Good question.
Moncada?
No, I think we should trade Chris Sale for Moncada. Unless they try to move Tatis to third and keep Timmy at short.
That's what I'm about to say. I think the Moncada one will probably be the biggest question right there because, yeah, like you said, that's a perfect example. You put Timmy at short, you move Tatis to third, which basically any shortstop could basically play almost any position.
That's a little hard though because the trade for Moncada is where it blew up for the Sox going off and trading Adam Eden to get Giolito. Eventually we traded Quintana to get Eloy. I mean, that's where we blew it up.
Right. Right. Obviously, when you traded Chris Sale, literally the best American League pitcher to Boston and stuff, that was the start of the rebuild.
We know he did get injured, and he's injured this year. So
I mean, at the end of the day, it worked out though because he got what he needed and what he wanted. And that was the ring in Boston. Whether if it was fair or not, that's a whole different story for a whole different day, right? But even on top of that, it was basically a win-win because the Sox still are rebuilding, have rebuilt, and look good this year. And Chris Sale got what he wanted. He went to the winning team. He got his World Series. Unfortunately, injuries followed after that. But it's basically a win-win for both teams. Jose, what do you got?
Well, similar to my worst sports moment, I would go the day before Derrick Rose tore his ACL and speak directly to Tom Thibodeau and tell him to his face, you better take this man out of the game. You're up big. Rest him, please. And I will tell Derrick Rose, bro, like, can you imagine? We talk about the Bulls and how our first segment, how we had the Bulls and how they've been in hell since the injury. Come on, man. The story, the franchise would be so different if that never happened. That's something we
I,
can all admit.
I still think they still will never win a title, but that's another debate for a whole nother day. But
Hater alert.
that's either.
Negative Nancy.
You
Me
don't
personally,
one title.
they'll probably have they'll probably have a shot with one. I think after the Heat split up or during the last Heat year, I think that probably been their perfect
Nah,
year.
we would have caused
Yeah.
the Heat to split up, bro.
Yeah.
LeBron would have opted out.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Would have been frustrated, man.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. My sports moment, actually, obviously, I'm keeping the trend, right? Soccer has been the trend for me for the past 2 weeks, and it's gonna continue the trend. And to be honest with you, it was the year 2011. And I go back to 2011 for specific years because it's the year that Arsenal gave away Cesc Fabregas. It was the year that they gave away RVP to Manchester United. It was a year that they kind of almost similarly blew up that Arsenal team that lost in the semifinal to Manchester United in the Champions League, thanks to Cristiano Ronaldo and the Almunia save that was clearly on his post. And anywho, I ain't gonna go there because it's also one of the worst moments. But because of that game, because of that semifinal right there, was the reason why they blew up. Basically, the only chance that Arsenal had of winning the title, whether they finished second, obviously in 2015, 2016, whatever year it was that Leicester won the not the Champions League, but the Premier League. Arsenal had a lead with 6 games, and that was my second choice too as well. I think it was a game where I think Wenger switched out final 4 games or final 6 games right before Leicester made that run to win the title, and Arsenal just choked. Arsene Wenger made a change that literally switched up six players because he wanted to rest the players for the Champions League when they were down to Bayern Munich 3-1, and they were going away to Bayern when they had the league title ahead of them. So those were like my only 2 months. But the only reason why I go far back is because Arsenal they had a missing piece. They had Fabregas, who was one of the best center midfielders in the game. RVP was one of the best strikers in the game, right? I always said that that Szczesny now in Juventus looks like a pretty decent number 1 goalie, but back then he was not that convincing to me. Obviously, you had Koscielny, you had Sagna, you had Karen Gibbs in the back line, you had Alex Song right there in the middle, along with Fabregas. You had the one, the only, the myth, Thomas Rosicky. You had Theo Walcott, a young Theo Walcott. You had RVP. Like, literally, that team was primed to win. And yet, the year that they lost to Man U in the semifinal, it broke Arsenal into half. And that's why we've been basically in soccer hell for the last 10 years. So if I were to do that, I would not sell Fabregas nor RVP to Manchester United and Barcelona, respectively. So that's our time machine segment here on JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live, and now brought you by Chicagoland Sports Radio.com. Thank you to IMS. For our viewers, we will read your comments if you left your time machine comments on Facebook. We will read them after this commercial break to pay these dues that we have for Illinois Media School and ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We'll be right back. Cool. All right, awesome. We're gonna get into it right now. Jose, are there any comments on
No
Facebook?
comments, but I'm surprised we didn't talk about the Bears and how we didn't go and slap Ryan Pace upside his head and tell him, hey, make sure you pick Patrick Mahomes. You know?
Or Deshaun Watson. I think more Deshaun Watson than Holmes. Obviously,
come on.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, I'm sorry, but
YouTube fan bias. YouTube
okay.
Mahomes over Watson.
Mahomes all day.
No. Watson was clear cut. Obviously, Watson was going to be that guy, bro.
Okay. So he doesn't go in the time machine. Eric doesn't go in the time machine. You stay home.
You know what? Stick to your soccer picks, all right?
Yeah, honestly.
No. look, obviously, I think Mahomes also was helped out that he was in the year on the bench with KC, where Alex Smith was still running the game. But guys,
Well, no,
is he gifted? No, he's giftedly talented. That dude is gifted. Don't get me wrong, it was gifted. But it was literally Deshaun Watson and everybody else, because Deshaun Watson went toe to toe Alabama back-to-back years in the national championships. Literally toe to toe. He won one. He lost one. We get it. I got
Eric,
it. That's
are we
great.
in college or are we in the NFL? I don't care what Deshaun Watson did in Clemson, wherever he was at. Patrick Mahomes is a Super Bowl MVP, an NFL MVP, and a Super Bowl winning champion. That's what we need in Chicago.
And that would have been Deshaun Watson. That would have been Deshaun Watson here in Chicago, bro. That would have been. Oh my god, man! You guys are.
If he can't
whatever.
do it in Houston with DeAndre Hopkins, he's not gonna do it here with Allen Robinson.
Oh
Right.
no, he would have definitely done it here. He would have definitely done it here. He would have definitely done it here. Y'all tweaking. Y'all tweaking. Y'all. Don't get me wrong. You got. I hear you. I hear you guys. Look, I'm saying I'm agreeing with you guys. Patrick Mahomes is a dog. Patrick Mahomes is a beast. I get it. But it was literally Deshaun Watson and everybody else. The only reason why Patrick Mahomes fell was because he wasn't as great in college as Deshaun Watson was. And
it was a risky pick that paid off.
It was a risky pick that paid off.
But
Remember,
knowing what you know,
like I said, I get it. Give you the Super Bowl MVP. I got it. Would have been different if Patrick Mahomes was here in Chicago and he was throwing the Wolves and Mike Glennon was the backup and whatever it was. Who knows? A year sitting down for a quarterback of that talented from Patrick Mahomes and reading the game, seeing the game from afar, helped out too as well, guys. That's it. But let's go on to the next segment. Let's bring about the Bears, and what do we need from our beloved for this week? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and also on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Brought to you by Illinois Media School too as well. This segment is also brought to you by Sky's Party Rental. Guys, if you're having a party in the next couple of weeks and you need tables, chairs, and it's still nice out, it's going to be 85 degrees tomorrow and a bouncy house. Call Sky's Party Rentals for more information. Guys, our beloved is going down to Atlanta, to Georgia, and they face against the 0-2 Falcons. Guys, I hate to say this, but I need to say this because we need to talk about something. But what are the keys to the games for the Bears to be 3-0 this week and avoid this trap game against the Atlanta Falcons?
Easy money. Mitchell Trubisky needs to take care of the football. No interceptions this week. Yes, I get it. It's not, the running game has to be, but this is my first key. The running game has to be strong in this game. It has to be the main focal point of the offense. But Mitchell Trubisky being the second key, he needs to step up, make some throws, make some touchdowns. He doesn't have to take care of the whole game. Just do enough to win us the game, and that's pretty much it.
John?
We need to unleash David Montgomery. Let that boy run for over 100 yards, man. Let him go for 150. Run it down their throats.
That helped me on fantasy. I could tell you that much.
Hey, seriously, he's been killing every game, and I feel like we just had him on a short leash. Like, Nagy got to stop being cute with the play calling. Just if the run game's working, don't stop until they stop it, man. Keep going. Seriously.
John, it's perfect that you said that because my key to the game is actually Matt Nagy. And I'll tell you why it's Matt Nagy. And obviously you said it perfectly. And you said it right on the money. He needs to stop being cute with his run plays with Cordell Patterson, with Tyreek Cohen. If something works, keep going, right? Don't let Mitchell Trubisky go toe-to-toe with Matty Ice because you're going to lose 10 out of 11 times. Or you're going to lose 11 out of 10 times. You're going to lose that battle 11 out of 10 times. Mitchell Trubisky going toe-to-toe with Matt Ryan, right? Montgomery, like you said, has been dogging it out the last 2 games, flirting with 100 yards here and there, having a touchdown last week on a nice play that Mitchell Trubisky extended the play, and he got it right down the middle. Everything in the rest was good old David Montgomery. Even though on top of that, kind of seemed that he started fading away little by little as the game progressed. Little by little started going away from Montgomery. Although Montgomery, was key and I think it was the pick to Allen Robinson that he went down, he got 10, 12, 9 yards and stuff like that, and it ended up being in basically no points. But Matt Nagy is the key to the game, and I think the only reason why he's key to the game because I think he's licking his chops at a defense that, think about it, has been the worst defense from the previous two teams that we played against, right? So we go by that. We do this. Matt Nagy needs to unlick those chops and actually call a very detailed planted play script, play sheet for Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears for the offense to give that defense some rest, keep that offense out of the field, give your defense rest, let your defense go against their offense, which is strength versus strength, and exploit the weakness on the defensive side of the ball. Granted, yes, I know it's time. Sometimes Matt Nagy wants to show you guys how cute he is and how smart he is and how big of a head he has with his offensive play that he has, doing these jet sweeps and all these running motions and stuff like that. But there has to be a time and a place for all of that. And if you're dominating on the offense side of the ball and you're up by like 3-4 touchdowns and you have that defense that you have that's well rested for 3 quarters, 4 quarters, then you're gonna come out winning, this game very, 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 very handily. Right. So Matt Nagy to me is my key factor of the game. Guys, on Facebook, on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com, and also on our Facebook page, guys, if you have any comments, who's your key to the game for the Bears game on Sunday? Is it anybody else other than that? Is it the defense? Is it Nagy? Is it Mitch? Obviously, we want Mitch to have actually first game was half a quarter or a quarter, whatever you want to say it. Last week was actually a half. Too bad it was the first half and not the second half. Can we get 3 quarters out of Mitch this week? Guys, he's been progressing so far little by little, so it's bound to happen, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Mitch is gonna come through. He's gonna show up. If
Yeah,
Nagy's like I said, Nagy gotta stop being cute with the plays. Let it work. Even let Mitch run too. Let him use them legs. He's young, but seriously, man, like there's no reason we should be trying to throw the ball on 3rd and 1. But and I feel like plays like that doesn't help Mitch's confidence when stuff like that don't work. So like Mitch definitely has to step up, but like you said, Nagy, he gotta call a good game. I mean, the defense is gonna show up. Like I mentioned earlier, Quinn's healthy. We saw what he did on his was it the third no
Yeah,
his
the third
first
the
series.
third play of the first series on the defense
Right.
side of the
Like
ball, he
man, with
took sack.
Quinn healthy, it's gonna help Mac. It's gonna help Mac open up and do what he does, man. Do what he can do. I'm tired of the league disrespecting Khalil Mack like he's not one of the best. I think the whole Bears got to show up definitely, but Mitch, hey, like Eric said, at least 3 quarters, man. Come on.
you're gonna see
let
a
it be the
complete
let it
game.
be the last 3 quarters.
You're gonna see
Yeah,
a
the
He's
whole
first
the
quarter
last.
could
complete
be
game.
all Montgomery, and then the last 3 minutes.
No, you're gonna see a whole complete game from Mitchell Trubisky. The Atlanta defense is horrible, and I see a full complete game from Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears offense. The Bears defense will step up when they need to step up. I see a full complete game from our quarterback, and we're gonna be 3-0, baby.
Bold prediction: we win by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, that's super bold.
That is Super Bowl.
That's super bold. I
Yes,
don't, I
sir.
don't know about
The
two.
year, book it.
Book it. I'd rather keep my money. I ain't gonna lie. I don't trust the Bears offense
Yes,
to
sir. The
win
defense
by
is gonna
by two
shut down
touchdowns.
Matty Ice, and Mitch is gonna show up. We're gonna win by 2 touchdowns.
You know what? I hope so too, guys. But in the back of my mind, and here I go, guys on Chicagoland Sports Radio, who's hearing us for the very first time. I am crowned the negative Nancy on this podcast simply because I'm always negative all the time, and for right reasons. Not to be wrong reasons or anything, for the right reasons and stuff like that. And honestly, if we still got that quarterback that wears the number 10 jersey who thinks he's at practice, not trying to get hurt or anything like that, trying to run around and trying to create some type of plays or not reading the playbook right, whatever it is, as long as he's in our quarterback, dude, it doesn't feel right. Like you have that skepticism on the back of your head. Like you just feel like, man, this play, if Mitch let us down, it's gonna bring us all down. You have that feeling. I at least have that feeling. Then when every time Mitchell Trubisky's our quarterback and in there, obviously it's something that you just don't. I just don't feel comfortable. I really, really don't. I don't feel comfortable with Mitch being our quarterback, but it's what we got. And I say it's a trap game because last week the Falcons scored 105 points and lost 107 to 105. and obviously I'm like over exaggerating, and the defense blew that lead. But the only reason why I say that it's a trap game is simply because of that reason. The Falcons could score points. Bears struggle to score points, and the defense can't be out there consistently for that amount of period of time and still expect results. So it goes by saying that it's a trap game. I hope the Bears don't fall into that trap. I hope the Bears come out 3-0, but I hate to say this, but I won't be surprised if they come out 2-1 this weekend. And it hurts me to say it.
You're
I hope
right.
they prove me wrong. It hurts me to say it. Yeah, it hurts me to say it,
But if we
it's
lose,
true.
I hope we battle, and I don't see us not putting up a fight against the Falcons. Like honestly, losing to that offense, I wouldn't be disappointed compared to like if we were to lost the last games, how we almost lost in the end. Those would have been brutal. But if we
Right.
lose like in a potential shootout, high scoring games to Atlanta, then it's like okay, we're gonna lose at some point.
Right. I mean, it's hard to go 16-0. Matt, I think Nagy said it last week. It's hard to get wins in the NFL, and it's hard to get W's. And as long as you get any type of W's in the NFL, they all count the same. This is not college. College, you don't get style points for the wins. You don't get style points for blowing out teams. 76,000-4. Whatever the score lines could be. Like you don't get style points. W's count as W's in the NFL, and you get them how you get them, whether if they're ugly, whether if they're beautiful, whether if they're cute, whether they're no matter what it is, W's in the NFLs are W's, and it is what it is, guys. On Facebook Live, comment, see what are your predictions on our Facebook Live. What do you guys think? How our beloved are going to do this weekend down in Atlanta, Georgia, against the Atlanta Falcons? This is the JCA Sports Podcast brought to you by Illinois Media School and ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Also, Sky's Party Rental here. We are live on Facebook.com and Facebook.com and ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. The edited version will be out in the school soon as well. Guys, for bonus coverage for the Illinois Media School, that's all for us. I mean, we're still going to continue, but, we got to end the show some way, somehow. That's going to be edited out. But bonus coverage, we're going to talk about the game right now between the Cubs and the Sox. The Cubs, I think, are up. As last time I checked, let me see, are up 9-0 on the Cubs. Guys, we'll talk a little bit about baseball. How confident do you feel about your teams, the South Side and the North Side, coming in last series of the season? How do you guys feel about them going to the playoffs? Back for that and more. Right back. All right, we're still going to be live. Obviously, you're going to get the edited version, like I said, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We'll send it out. It'll be out next week. Same thing for Facebook Live. Guys, we'll read your comments pretty soon. I became unprepared. I don't have my laptop in front of me. I'm the normal reader here, but, right now, any of the two guys can help me out.
What did you say the score was for the Cubs and Sox game again?
I got 9-0.
I
got 9-0. You want me to say it loud so they can hear it?
I'm watching it. Don't worry.
All right, let's get it started so we can end the segment, and then we can end this and predictions for the Bears, which is going to swing right through. All right, so make sure you guys read the comments on Facebook Live, see how it goes, and much, much more. Guys, this is the JCA Sports Podcast. We would like to thank you for watching, for tuning in, listening, whatever, everything else on Facebook Live. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com too as well. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening, guys. Give us your predictions on our beloved for this weekend. What do you think? What's the score going to be? Who's going to be the key player of the game for Sunday? Whether if it's the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Falcons, or anybody from the Chicago Bears. What do you guys think? We want predictions and scores, guys. A little bit of baseball going on. We're going to have a little bit of baseball talk simply because the only reason why we're talking baseball is because last series of the season. Now, obviously, we have the fortune of having Cubs versus Sox as the last series of the season this week.
Sure.
I said last week on our show, I said if the Cubs and Sox both clinch the division before the series next week, before the series that started today, will this game mean anything? Well, neither team did that. They clinched their ticket spots. They clinched the playoff berth. They did all that. Everything was clinched. The Sox did it last week. The Cubs did it on Tuesday, I believe it was. But they just clinched the ticket to the playoffs. They still didn't clinch the division. They didn't do anything like that. Jose, as the week turned out, wasn't a pretty week for the Chicago Cubs. Wasn't a pretty
Absolutely
week
not.
at all.
No.
How confident after today? I mean, today the game's in the top of the seventh. They're up 9-0. But before that, your confidence level on the Cubs heading into the playoffs. How do you feel? How confident are you?
They, they lost what, three in a row before today? It's pretty bad, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. They started off so hot. They gave us something to root for, and this being a short season, they did what they had to do. They made the playoffs, and a lot of that was because of the hot streak they had in the beginning of the season. But they're stumbling in, man. Let's be real. They are stumbling into the playoffs, and that's not what they need, especially now. You got to have some kind of momentum going into the playoffs because if not, yikes. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too comfortable saying that they're gonna make it out of the opening round. But I mean that's just reality. I mean the bats haven't been consistent. The pitching hasn't been consistent, and right now our Chicago Cubs they don't look too hot, man. I'm gonna be real.
No,
They're beating the White Sox right now. This is what they needed. But before scoring 9 runs today, they scored what 4 runs in how many games? Or I
and
mean not even that. It was like
like 4 games, something like that.
it was bad.
Yeah,
It's bad.
no, it's bad. And Yu Darvish actually this after last month being unhittable actually has been hitting before today's start has been hittable. So that's also true as well. They blew a Kyle Hendricks start. I mean he gave up back-to-back home runs and that was it. That's the only offense that the Pirates got on Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs didn't do anything but a Rizzo home run. The Alec Mills games. Like you said, it's been inconsistent. That's been the Cubs' mantra for the last 2 years, 3 years. They're consistently inconsistent, and when they show out like they do today, like they're doing today, 9-0 up against the Sox, and Yomar Sanchez is on the bump pitching for the Sox right now. It's like why and 10-0 now because of Wilson with a home run now solo. It goes to show like why can't they do this? Why can't they do this? Periodically. Why can't they do this game after game? Or at least every 4 games show out and then have a bad game. And heading down to the South Side, John. Ever since they punched their ticket to the playoffs, they haven't been looking great. I'll be quite honest. I know you're one of those listeners or one of those Sox fans that nitpick. I guess nitpick is not the right word, but you find every detail that could possibly go wrong for the White Sox, and rightfully so. Maybe not, but what has been happening for the White Sox that the moment that they clinched the playoff spot, they were up, I believe, 3 or 4 games on the Twins, and now that lead has literally been slimmered down to where they're a game or a half game behind the Twins for the division lead.
For a
What's been
game.
happening on the South Side? Yep.
It seems
So
like
what's been happening?
Rick Renteria forgot how to manage. Not that he was not that he was doing a perfect job prior to this, but man, it's like I pretty much I've told you guys like every day what he's done wrong that has counted for the loss on him. For instance, like prior to today's game, every game we've lost, we're in the mix, and I think we're on 5 straight. This would be 6, but literally like we could have easily split the series against the Indians 2-2. And honestly, I'm pissed that we're losing right now, 10-0 now, because they just rocked Yomer for a homer. But I think this is a much needed wake up call going into playoffs. We needed a blowout loss. But it's so frustrating when it's like Rick Renteria is just like not using our pitchers how he's supposed to, and the lineups. Oh my god, I get it. Edwin Encarnacion was signed to be our DH. You paid him to be the DH, but like, my gosh, my man, like, do you not want to go after the division title? Like, he shouldn't be in the lineup. Mazar has been a bust. A lot of people weren't happy when we traded for him. It's been ugly, man, and it's just as far as like, for example, watching today's game, the homers given up, it's the same thing it's been all year. Our pitchers missing their spots, and I think like this is it's rough going into the playoffs with this. Like eventually you knew a team was gonna hit a cold streak, but yeah, I'd rather it this week than next week, but I hope next week this coach streak don't carry on. It's very alarming. Like I told you, Ricky. It's like if Ricky blows it in the playoffs, myself included, a lot of fans are gonna be saying Ricky needs to be fired.
How confident? How where is your confidence level for this White Sox team into heading into the playoffs? Because I was telling a few people, that talk sports that I know that talk sports, and I've been telling them, the way that the Sox been playing, you should avoid the Yankees who are becoming the Yankees of how they started. They're getting healthy at the right time. The Astros, whether they cheated or not, have been there and done that. The A's look like a little scary here and there. But
I
the
actually
matter
I want the
right,
A's.
exactly. That's one of the teams where you really want to face because they haven't been there in a really
The
long
A's don't
time.
have
Just
a,
like
a true like
right, a
dog.
true starter. Right. But at the same time, like you kind of, and I say this very mildly too as well. Well, not, but this is my strength. You really kind of have to avoid the Twins or the Indians at
Absolutely.
all costs too.
Hey,
At all costs too, because it literally like they know your weakness better than any other team that you're gonna face. Better than the Yankees, better than the
Absolutely.
A's, better than the Astros. They know your weakness better, and they will exploit that better. And as hot as you were coming in, I mean, you had a slow start, right? You're literally ending the season how you started the season, right? And then you got hot in between, and then all of a sudden you started fading out. The three teams that you kind of need to avoid, you're almost about to face one of them three pretty surely in the Twins, Yankees, and the Indians. Obviously, you
I'm gonna
probably
be
give
honest
you
with you. I'm not scared of the Yankees. Definitely want to avoid the Twins and the Twins and Indians, of
mhm.
course. But I don't fear the Yankees like people say we should, man. I mean, yes, they have Garrett Cole, Tanaka, but they haven't been consistent, lights out numbers from them.
I don't know, man. If you're playing like this, you better fear the Yankees. You
No, of
better fear
course.
the
I mean,
Yankees.
no, you better fear the
like I
Yankees,
told
man. I
you
mean,
guys,
I'm
like, okay, look, let me be honest with you. We just lost to the Twins. Oh no, we just lost to the Indians. And can you see the Indians beating the Yankees?
no. I think the only team
You don't, the
out of
way the Indians just played us, the Indians could take out the Yankees. For us, because like
I don't know.
these last
I don't
series against
know.
and the Indians have felt like playoff series already. Like it's been a
Right.
cockfight, and like I told you,
Exactly.
those losses are on Rick Renteria. He's choked with who to bring out of the pen, who to take out, who to put in.
I
Look,
Yeah,
he's not
my
losing them for the
I told
playoffs.
you guys he should have benched Luis Robert week ago. You mean to tell me this man only gets one days off? He's not winning Rookie of the Year. Bench him a series. He's
Look,
been cold. He costed us one of the game against the Indians.
but here's the thing, John. You're not going to lose Rick Renteria. He's going to be your coach going into the playoffs, which is why you should be scared of the Yankees, especially if that man is your skipper, who's making all these mistakes right now. I mean, come on, that's
See, but you
right.
guys act like the Yankees even won their division. They didn't.
No, they didn't, and it was the Rays that won it. We understand,
Exactly. The Rays just
but
clinched it.
right,
Right now, the
the
Sox have
Rays
a better record
clinched it.
than the Yankees.
I
The
understand
Sox have
that.
a better record than the
I,
Cubs still, despite
hey,
losing five
hey.
straight, six straight.
it's all.
It doesn't
I
matter about
understand.
the record once the playoffs start, buddy.
It's a
Oh, but if it's the
whole
0
Cubs,
different.
it
no.
It's a
matters, right?
whole different. No,
0
it's a
0 when
whole.
the
And then
playoffs
Oh
start.
no.
Astros,
0
they don't even
0.
have players batting 250.
That's fine.
They're
That's
literally
fine. They're still in
crawling
the
into the
playoffs.
playoffs, bro.
It's still the play.
Without Verlander, you forget Verlander's gone.
Right.
He's getting to
That
Tommy John.
that's
Verlander's
fine.
carried them the last
That
postseason.
It's a
that's
new
fine.
season.
That's great.
Oh,
It's
that's a new
good.
season. But
I
Eric just
understand.
said the Astros have experience. They've been there. Yeah, with garbage cans and an ace.
But what I said, whether they did it fairly or not, that was literally my comment after the Astros. I'm not saying that the
But you said
Astros
they've
are.
been there, and I'm telling you,
They
they
still have
suck.
good players. They're
They
still
still
making the
have good
playoffs even
players.
after
They're
cheating.
still been
They don't
players in the
have no
playoffs.
pitching to go in there.
I'm telling you though, the only
When
reason
have
why
the
the
Yankees
Yankees,
dominated in the playoffs the last year? They've choked every year too.
if regardless of the fact, John, and I hear you loud and clear, and I hear you on my headphones pretty loud and pretty clear, but yet the Yankees throughout the whole entire season have been unhealthy. They are getting healthy in the right time. They have
Right, they're getting
been.
healthy, but that don't mean they're hot, bro.
Oh,
If you're
oh,
coming
oh,
back from
oh,
injury, you gotta heat it up. You gotta heat up.
I
Look at Chris
understand.
Brown, perfect
I
example. This
hear
man's always
you.
hurt.
I'm
When he comes
hearing
back,
you
he's not on
loud.
fire. He's not
I'm
MVP
hearing,
Chris Bryant.
bro. I get
Bro,
that. I hear
Giancarlo Stanton is one
I
step away from going back to the injury list.
I hear you what you're saying 100%. But the thing about the playoffs that you haven't been in like 25 years, I know I'm over exaggerating on the number, and I know I'm over exaggerating on the number, but the
2008,
thing is,
man. Come on.
But the difference
okay,
is I
okay,
actually
Whoa.
watch the games. Just
that's
because my team's not
that
in it, I watch the games. I
that
examine other
that's
teams. You
that's
don't.
fine.
You just watch
Okay,
the recap of Cubs games, bro. That don't count.
that's false too, but we're not going that far either. But I'm just saying that in baseball, if you have the momentum going in, more than likely you're gonna have carry that momentum heading into the playoffs. And it doesn't matter if you're the eighth seed or if you're the top seed, the momentum will carry you a lot more than anything else in baseball because baseball is a series. It's not a game on
Absolutely.
game. It's not you play the whole entire season as a series. Again, I'm
Right.
telling you.
Okay.
Right.
And
Okay.
again,
Oh, hold
you're
on. Hold on.
talking as if
Hold
the
on.
Yankees
Hold
are
on.
hot.
Hold
They
on.
didn't even win
Hold
their
on.
division,
Hold
bro.
on. Hold on. I hold on. Before you even say anything, hold on. I'm telling you, yes, the Rays are the division champs
The
in the
Rays are the
AL
hot
East.
team.
Okay, okay, listen. I am telling you that the Yankees were faltered by injuries during the season. They
Right.
got healthy, they're getting healthy, and are becoming that team that everybody thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season, whether when they were healthy. Now we're heading into the playoffs, and they are one of the scariest teams heading into the playoffs because everybody's coming back at the right time. It doesn't mean that they're the hottest team. They are getting the momentum carrying into the playoffs. That's why it's one of the teams you should worry about, unless if Aaron Judge goes down again, unless if Giancarlo Stanton goes down again, unless if Garrett Cole gets hurt, unless if like you have to have other things to happen in order for that to happen.
We
Am
must
I
be
saying,
watching two different Yankees because Garrett Cole's been he's been getting thrown
bro,
under the bus for giving up
bro?
home
John,
runs lately, bro.
Okay,
John.
okay.
You must
John,
have missed that part. Tanaka
I
too. I think they both got like
okay.
3 ERAs.
That's fine. You're talking about also in a 60-game season where almost everything's a little inflated here and there. 60
Okay,
games and 60
but
games.
it's not like they
Okay,
got a Yu Darvish
hold
over
on.
there.
I understand that, John. But again,
They don't got
at
a
the right time,
professor over there.
they are
You're saying
getting
the
the
right time?
momentum.
There's only what after today 2 games are left. What
Two
momentum do
games
they
are left.
have, bro? The
Look at
Twins and if anything, the Indians are the
what's their
scariest
record
team.
in the last 10 games? What has been their record in the last 10 games?
I
What
don't
has
know.
been
Pull
their
it up, bro.
output? But I don't have my laptop with me, or else I
I
would have.
got you.
Pull it
And
up because I
on
know that
Monday I would tell you.
they're
And
struggling
trust
to
me,
get to the playoffs. I'm telling you that.
they may what, but they are getting there at the right time. While your team
Bro,
is
I think you're
faltering,
arguing for the
you
wrong team, my guy.
I,
Then you should be arguing the Indians.
I could argue for anybody else if I want. The Indians, the sweep or whatever the
But see,
series
that's
that
your
they had
problem is you're not even arguing
against the
based off the
Yankees.
stats, bro.
Bro, like I don't even, bro. I
Because you
don't
don't
have
even
to
know the
watch the
stats,
game.
so why are you arguing for them,
I
bro?
read, bro. Like I read every single day.
Okay, then
I
how
don't
do you
see the
not know
score.
that Garrett Cole's been getting rocked off the home run ball?
I don't.
How do you
I
not know that
read
they have a
almost
catcher
every.
that can't even bat 200?
But it doesn't even matter. Like that doesn't even. I'm telling you from what I see, from what I read, from what I could tell, that the team is getting healthy at the right time. That the team is getting good. Whether the pitching will take you a long way in the playoffs. Everybody
Right,
knows
and we
that. Whether
got
you can
Lucas
have a
Giolito
bullpen,
and Dallas Keuchel at the top.
and that's it.
And then number 3, we got
And that's it.
All right, here we go.
okay, so who do they
I got
have?
it. In the
Garrett Cole
last,
and the mediocre
Hold
Tanaka.
on.
wait, hold on. In the last 16 games, the Yankees have won 11. 11 of the last 16. So I mean, 5 losses. I mean, they're in a 3-game losing streak now, right?
Okay,
But 11. But I mean, you're talking about 11 games in the last 16. I mean, they
right.
got
But
they're in
and
a
then
little
prior
slump
to
right
this
now.
week,
But
what was the Sox record? The Sox are pretty much what 14 out of like 17 prior to this
right
week
now,
where Rick Renteria choked. Like I said, I've actually watched the games. We've had chances to win these games. We should have won these games.
But for some odd reason, you blame Rick Renteria. Like I said, coaches coach, players play. Players are put in position. They're professional players for a reason. They're in that
Okay,
level
and
for a
like I
reason,
told you, are you gonna bring in Edwin Jackson with bases loaded after
bro.
missing a
Bro,
month?
you're
Are, are you? Are
what
you?
we
No,
Sox are
answer the
what
question.
500.
we
Are you gonna bring in a
Sox are
starter who
500.
hasn't come out the bullpen in about
Look,
3 years?
look.
He missed a month. Are you gonna bring him in with bases loaded?
In the last
bro
16 games, in the
Are
last
you gonna
16
bring him
games,
in with bases loaded? That's the question.
Sox
we
have won 8 in the last
why
16.
why why are you bringing Edwin Jackson if he's no longer on the Cubs,
Because I'm
bro?
comparing him to Carlos Rodon so you can understand. Because you, my guy, you don't watch the games, bro. You literally
My guy,
don't. You're over here
guy,
like players need to play.
my
Okay, this is a perfect example
exactly.
for you to
This is a perfect
understand,
example,
bro.
but make it into a
You need to
common aspect right
understand.
now. You need put it in a common aspect right now. Put it in a way that it's featured
Okay,
right now.
what?
You're bringing up
Okay,
stuff
then.
from
Okay,
like
let
12
me
years
ask you,
ago,
bro.
10,
What
12 years
starter
ago
do the Cubs have that was a
from
first
Edwin
round pick
Jackson.
that's been injured the last 4 years? Give me
Nobody,
that
because
name, and
The
I'll put it for
Cubs
you.
never picked. The Cubs have not picked up a first round pitcher in I don't know how long, and I can't even remember a draft when
Okay,
they
then.
did,
So how
other
else do you
than
want me
dealing
to
Cease.
explain it to you,
Oh,
my
okay,
guy? You don't watch the games,
but
bro.
you're telling me you're bringing up Edwin Jackson, who hasn't played for the Cubs since like 1657, bro.
But picture
I'm
his
just telling you.
stats and the
I
pitcher
don't
he
care.
was.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
care
trying to get you to
about Edwin
understand,
Jackson.
bro.
I don't care about Edwin Jackson.
Oh
Give me
my
Kyle
god.
Hendricks. Give me John Lester. Give me you Darvish. Give me Jose Quintana. Give me Alec Mills. Give me players now. Don't give me Edwin Jackson from
Why not?
freaking
If
from
you're a true Cubs fan,
1567.
you
I
can
don't,
remember what
dude.
he did.
I know
You can
what he
remember what he
did,
did
and
at
he was
playing now.
playing garbage,
You just
and I
said
get
the
that.
Cubs don't
No,
have a first
I
rounder
get
that
that.
you can relate to Carlos Rodon. So who do you want me to
Exactly.
give?
Exactly. Well, get a
So
current
who do you
player
want me to
now.
give? I'm
A
gonna have
current
to give
player
somebody you
now.
had equivalent to how
A
shitty
current,
Rodon
a,
was.
cur, a current
All
player
right, guys. Hey,
now.
guys.
A
Real quick,
current player.
let's remember that we are on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. The language
Well,
has
not
to be.
anymore. We don't have to use this for Chicago Land Sports Radio. This is
Yeah,
what
but
we
we're
just do on Facebook
broadcasting
Live.
on their Facebook Live, so
Oh,
let's make sure,
sorry.
remember, that we.
All right, okay.
Okay,
I'm just
Eric.
telling you now.
Okay,
Look,
give
I'm
me the
telling you
guy
now.
that you would say is equally as bad as
This is
Carlos
a
Rodon.
debate right here, everybody. This is
Give me that
Chicagoland
guy.
Sports. This is John Konavi Sports Podcast. We get this heated. We get this riled up. We get this passionate about our teams. And this is the what kind of content you want to listen to. Trust me. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm asking you, name your guy. Name your guy that's equivalently as bad as Carlos Rodon.
Easy. Kimbrough.
No, he's not a starter. That doesn't count.
Well, it's equivalent. The guy sucks. He
No,
hasn't
he's
pitched in
not a
like over a
starter.
month.
I'm telling you.
Alec Mills, I don't know. He's
No,
a starter that can
come
be in
on,
the
he
bullpen.
just threw a no-hitter.
I don't.
You're
I
easily going to
don't.
throw that in my face.
I can't answer you that because that question's irrelevant because the Cubs haven't had a first round draft pick, a pitcher in a long time. And I'm giving you a starter now.
My guy, this is why I'm trying to get you to understand the level of frustration for putting that player in.
Okay, but
you can't understand because you don't have a Carlos Rodon.
That's fine, but don't bring up Edwin Jackson.
Okay,
don't.
Why would you give him
don't give me
the ball game with the?
No, I don't. Whatever you're about, dude. Don't bring up Edwin Jackson.
You don't even watch the games, my guy.
Edwin Jackson. You're bringing up Edwin Jackson like this,
fan, dude.
Bro, my dude. You're the thing about your argument that's getting me frustrated is like you're bringing up stuff a past player when the Cubs are garbage and Edwin Jackson. Cool. Carlos Rodon was part of your garbage team too as well in the last 3 years as being your first round draft pick.
But you called him an ace earlier this year. That's crazy, bro. That's real crazy.
I'm just reiterating to what you are saying.
And I'm trying to get you to understand how frustrating it is, where the mistake was made. I'm trying to validate where Ricky went wrong, but you're not letting me, my guy.
I get you, my guy. But the thing is that what's the hardcore, whatever you're trying to do is like you're bringing somebody from like a garbage team from Edwin Jackson, and you're not even bringing them up because we don't have that current situation. And I understand your frustration, but when you're doing it, don't bring up somebody that when the Cubs sucked. Bring up somebody currently now. You want me to bring up somebody? I brought up Craig Kimbrell. Why? Because he's been up and down, and he's the closest.
You can't even compare. He's a closer. His job is to come out the bullpen. A starter should not be coming out the bullpen with the 4-run lead with a division on the line. That's different.
Jose Quintana.
Craig Kimbrell was signed to come out of the bullpen, bro.
I don't know. Jose Quintana. I don't know.
Okay, would you bring out Jose Quintana? Would you bring out Jose Quintana, bro?
Well, guys, this was the job. Well,
hey.
I would bring out the I would bring out Jose Quintana.
Jose, you wouldn't bring out Jose Quintana after missing a month with
Yeah,
only a
no, I mean,
one-game lead.
you would no, no, I wouldn't bring him on
You
as a
want to
starter.
go with your
Not
consistent reliever.
yeah, not as a starter. I would have him as a reliever, just an extra arm in the bullpen. I mean, you
Okay,
can't
no,
go
I
wrong with that.
understand. You want to
Can't
work
go
him
wrong
back
with
in, but you're not going to bring him in a situation where the bases are loaded.
that. No, absolutely not. You want to bring him in when again, good clean outing. After maybe
Exactly.
seventh inning, after your starter has gone, pretty done pretty good for yourself. You want him for the same position. You don't want him to go out
Right.
there and try to save you. No, you want him to just clean.
And then to go back to mention, I mentioned it to you guys in the text. You don't bring Gio Gonzalez in the ninth inning with a tie ball game. You don't do that. You bring him in right now like you did when we're down 8-0 against the Cubs. He's an innings eater. He's not the guy to, okay, hold the ninth for us. Let's hope we win it in the 10th.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand why Ricky's making those moves, man.
yeah, I know, man. It's frustrating. I can tell it's frustrating for all Sox fans, and it's even Cubs fans. We're honestly right now, both teams are stepping into the playoffs. I mean, it's hard for me to admit, but I think the White Sox have more of a chance than the Cubs to get it out the first round.
Thank
But
you,
both,
sir. I
but
appreciate
both,
that.
but
But Ricky can
both seem
easily
really,
botch that chance.
yeah, absolutely. Both seem pretty bad right now at the very moment. I mean, the Cubs are up 10-0, but the White Sox are
The Cubs
struggling.
won. The Cubs won 10-0. You know what? That's good for the Cubs because they had no business losing to the Pirates like they did.
Yeah, they needed this. Again.
Yeah, they needed a huge win, and the Sox needed to get a
You,
huge
you want
loss to
some
wake them up.
you want some positive going into the playoffs.
Right.
Even if it's 3 or 2 games, you want something positive going in. That's what Rick Renteria and David Ross are both. That's what they're both preaching right now. Is let's get something positive out this series and build off that, especially during the playoffs. It's unfortunate, Eric left, but this is how passionate we get, guys. This is the Johnson Sports Podcast. This is how we do it. And trust me, when we're together, we're this passionate. We're yelling. Eric's is the best one to get mad, as you can see. John. Again, we all love each other at the end of the
This is
day.
why we do this, man. We love
What we
this.
doing. This is locker room talk. This is barbershop conversations. This is the kind of fun we have here on the John Konavi Sports Podcast. So I mean, John, thank you for joining. Eric, thank you for joining. Everyone, thank you for
Thank
watching.
you guys. Thank you for everybody watching this, man.
On ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. This is the first episode of many. There's going to be a John Konavi YouTube that's going to be tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow it'll be live. We'll have all episodes on there. You can also follow us on the Anchor app and on Spotify. JCA Sports is the name. You'll be able to catch every single episode. This week's, last week's will all be uploaded by tomorrow. So, guys, thank you again. Chicagoland Sports Radio, thank you again for the opportunity. This is going to be a great partnership that we have. As for Eric, John, I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, brother.
So Monday,
We love you, Eric.
We'll be back on Monday on the John Konavi Sports Facebook page to recap all NFL and, of course, the Chicago Bears. Hopefully, it's a victory
Hopefully
Monday.
it's Victory Monday, baby.
It's a victory
Hopefully
Monday.
it's a Mitchie Monday.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, John, thanks again. And let's hope for your sake, let's hope the White Sox at least get one more win. But if not, go Cubs, go.
At least one, man. Come on, give us one. Even if it's the last game, give us one.
Hey, man, we'll see. We'll see if David Ross wants to gift you guys one, because I know Rick Renteria is not gonna.
I'm telling you, bro. Ricky's wearing his old Cubs jersey under that Sox jacket he wears.
Yeah, that's good for us. I'll take it. So again, guys,
Alrighty, bro.
for Eric, for John, I'm Jose. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.